Have you got any questions for Ballaz in the Middle?
Yeah. I think first question is like, and I'm sure you potentially have spoken about this in some of the podcasts as well, but just for my benefit, I think firstly, it's obviously incredible. Like you're sort of looking to sort of shine the light on, like you said, the 5 pillars of American football in the UK. But I think from my perspective as well, just so wanted to understand and hear it from you guys as well, like what is sort of the vision, what is sort of the reason behind this podcast, and why have you decided to set it up and yeah, give people a voice, I guess?
That's a good question. So, do you want to take that, or do you want to take it?
I mean, I'll take a piece of it.
Yeah, I'll take another piece. You go.
You know what? It's how it came about. We for me, I felt like I left the game and I didn't put back into it. You know, I just felt I was a bit bitter. I don't know. You know, I've explained before. I'm not going to go too deeply back into it, but I felt a bit, you know, not appreciated enough within the game. That's the only reason why I didn't get into coaching or anything like that. And you know, I walked away from the sport, but I was so, you know, I'm still so in love with the game. I felt like, you know, I have to give back to this, you know, in whatever way I can. And you know, I can't even remember how me and Hutch got back in touch because I wasn't even in the country. You know, I'd left the country, was living in Barbados for like 7 years, and I come back. Kind of, I think it was that. Yeah, unfortunately, it was through Neo's thing that we actually got back in touch with each other. And I just mentioned it. You know, I had a conversation with Hutch after that event about, you know, we should. Sorry for covering my mouth. We should, you know. It was all about podcasts at the time, just getting out there and get, you know, spreading the awareness of the game, like from when we was playing, because of what I had seen, it's like it's gone backwards. It was, you know, it was going up like this. They just feel like it slipped right back down the slope. And I've seen a couple of games, and I was like, you know, and I just felt like it. I wanted to give back, but didn't know how to. But the next best thing was for me to speak about where it's going wrong, or try to highlight what we think was going wrong. You know, that's our opinion, not that we got any facts. It was just our opinion on what we see or what I saw. Yeah. So that was one. You know, so we thought, let's put the podcast together, and then that led into, you know, us then teaching flag football. You know, then we started going to different events. Then got us involved. We found out who was doing like wheelchair flag football, and you know, just kind of snowballed from there. You know, don't get me wrong, it's not as easy as, you know, just putting this together. It's hard work. You know, we're in here just grinding away, just trying to make it happen. I guess we are like well, no, I won't say we're like Bath, but we're trying to get funding ourselves, trying to, you know, to move the platform, you know, further forward. Because right now, me and him are just putting in our money once again, just like how we was when we was playing. You know, it's something that we really believe in. So I mean, yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
Well, you know, that kind of covers most of it. But you know what, my take on this is, you know, we came up with this idea at Neil Edwards, Neo, God rest his soul. We was at his funeral, and you know, all of the ballers from back in the day were you know, they're celebrating Neo, and caught up with Royal and was talking about football and stuff, and you know, Royal, he mentioned a bit about being bitter leaving the game, etc. And I said to him, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, do you know how many people talk about you, about the game, about the impact you had, and all this stuff? Okay. And he didn't know.
I didn't know none of it.
He didn't know none of it, right? And so, you know, at first, when Royal mentioned, look, I mean, we need to go and do something. We need to do something about this. We need to raise awareness of British American football in this country. Okay. At first, I thought to myself, man, that's a damn huge task, because, you know, there's a lot of work to do behind it. Come in. Okay, no worries. All good. This is live broadcast. Ballaz In The Middle is live and direct. You know, anyway,
Just keep it rolling, buddy. Keep it rolling.
So, we then decided, right, look, I mean, from my perspective, what I wanted to do, I wanted to raise the awareness of the British game because it's been here since the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
It's been here since the mid-'80s, and you can Google some of these games, man. We had like 4,000 or 5,000 people in stands.
Yeah.
There was a buzz. At that point, Budweiser, Coca-Cola, they were funding the leagues, and it was good football.
Yep.
Hard-hitting, great football. And that, it just, cutting a long story short, it faded away. And that was our generation of football, 90s, noughties, that was our generation of football. And then that juggernaut started coming. So that juggernaut started to come across, the NFL. They came and started playing some exhibition games at Wembley. Didn't really catch on too well because no one knew about, they knew about American football, but they didn't understand the game. People were cheering when they weren't, people were cheering when offenses were on. They didn't understand, like when Cubans were going like this, they were saying, They didn't understand the game. Yeah. So the NFL didn't really get it right until 2007. I mean, this is just my opinion. And then they got it right. Then they started putting games in Wembley, in Tottenham. You know what I'm saying? 80,000, 85,000. And to me, they've got the marketing right. But what about British American football? What about the fact that, we were a feared nation in Europe back in the day. In the mid 90s, we were probably one of the number one. We had the number one club team. Yeah, the London Olympians. Yeah. We won, the Euro Bowl back to back. We got to the final 3 times. And I'm not going to go there about why we didn't win the third one, but we got to the final 3 times. So we were an absolute force. In the 90s, players in BAFA, right, in the D1, in the top league, they were playing in BAFA, and then they were going to play across in Europe. They were playing in Italy, they were playing in Spain, they were playing in France, they were playing in Germany. Yeah, because other countries, they wanted our players because we were there, we were balling. But it faded away. It's faded away, and it's kind of come back around to where it is today. And we want to raise the awareness around, hey, we were champions back then, man. We were balling back then. You guys need to know that there wasn't infrastructure back then. We do see the NFL, and the NFL is the ultimate. But we want to raise the awareness of British American football to let those fans, and when I say those fans, I'm talking about American football fans, may it be NFL fans, may it be Canadian fans, may it be BAFA fans, may it be BUCS fans that reside here, know about British American football. And that's what it is for me.
No, love that. And I think sort of obviously speak about like football in the 90s and the noughties. So from your perspectives, like what would you say has been sort of the major difference between football from obviously when you played to football now, and what do you think, to a two-part question, and what do you think we need to potentially take the game at the moment to sort of the next level?
So for me, I'll take the first part. So for me, the safety in the game is the biggest thing that's changed, right? It's to me, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Okay. And I approve. I'm all for the safety side of the game. What impact has that had? And it's filtered down from the NFL to NCAA, down to European teams. We've all adapted to the league's rules with regards to safety. What impact has that had to the game? Some people say it's burst the bubble. It's not as the impact to the game isn't the same. My opinion, I don't think it is, purely because of the safety of the game. Yeah. When we were playing up until we were talking about this before, up until 2013, when I think the NFL really started to implement the CTE, the thing around CTE and putting safety into the game. Prior to that, semi-professional and professional teams were doing 2-a-days. 2-day practices. Waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, having breakfast and having meetings, and then they're on the field for about 8 o'clock for about 2-hour
It was like a job,
practice.
9 to 5.
Then thereafter that, you'd go and lift weights. Straight after that practice, you go and have a shower. You'd have lunch. You'd have like an hour or two for a break. You then have meetings. You're back on the field. About 2:30, 3 o'clock. You're back on the field for back another hour and a half session. That might have been in sweats. The first one would have been in pads. And then after that, you shower up, you have dinner, you have meetings again. You finish at about, say, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And then you do that for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how the NFL was. Yeah, and they've stopped that now. They've changed it. They made it just one practice. And this is camp. This is camp I'm talking about.
They don't even wear pads.
This is camp.
No. Shells.
And so now, from my understanding, they do a lot of stuff in shells.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. And if you talk to any American football player pre-2013, you ask them what's the hardest part of the year, they tell you camp.
Yeah.
Not the season. Because by the time the season comes, you got one practice a day, probably from Tuesday to Thursday.
Yeah.
Right?
And then walkthroughs the rest of...
And walkthroughs the rest, exactly. And then you play on Saturday or Sunday, and then you are... When you make that 53-man roster, it just gets easier.
Yeah.
It really gets easier because the stuff that you've done in camp, if that doesn't get you into shape, I don't know what will.
That's definitely... It is... There's no way I could have played the game today. It's not even physically possible. So I agree with Hutch 100%. 100% when it comes to the safety of the game. Do I like it? Idiot.
I get it. As a defensive player, it's hard.
Do I like it? No.
It's hard. It's tough.
Not. But
it's like you guys are playing in straitjackets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad I played when I played because I respect you once again because I don't know how you go from full tilt to gearing it down to make a tackle. I just don't know how. I don't even know how I can even do anything like that. I just want to run through somebody. That's how I played. If I flipping had a concussion, it is what it is. That was how I played. I wasn't interested in no picks, no nothing. I just wanted to
hit a machine.
You hear it? It's coming out. It's coming out now, right?
So I understand. I do understand that part of it. The other question was...
What was the second part, sorry?
How do we take the game forward, essentially?
How do we take the game forward? You take that?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I think I'm that one.
How do we take the game forward? Are we talking about from a BAFA perspective, or are we talking about
from multiple hats here? So just American football in the UK.
How do we take it forward? I think it's about marketing. We've got to start with marketing. We've got to market the sport. We've got to market the sport in the right areas. We've got to get funding behind it. Let's just start with this. That's right. BAFA. We've got to get the funding behind BAFA in order for them
to move forward
and do their jobs to try and promote the game. Get it to the point where we can put a camera on it. Get to the point where it looks good. Find stadiums that we can host this in.
Small ones.
Compact ones. Promote the game. Fund the game.
Yeah.
Fund the coaches. Incentivize the players financially. That will make a huge difference. And in all honesty, it's when you look at the I can't find the words now. When you look at the process that BUCS is doing, if BUCS could ever underpin BAFA, it will skyrocket. If we had something like that for BAFA,
it would be same as what's playing in Germany now, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what? Let me tell you this. Let me give you a fact, right? I'm just going down on a bit of a tangent. I'm going to come back. So I played in when I was in 2000. I was playing in the Bundesliga for the Hamburg Blue Devils, and this is in 2000, right? Damn, 24 years ago. And they had Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Highlights of every Bundes D1 game. Yeah. When we played the bigger teams like Cologne, Braunschweig, Kiel, You're talking about 35, 30,000 in those stadiums.
Hamburg.
Okay, Hamburg was one of the big teams.
Still,
it was one of the big teams.
They would smash, not playing wise, but the amount of people they would have at a game.
Especially when we played one of the rivals like Branchbar, for example.
It's
I remember when we
ridiculous.
was going to the stadium, we couldn't. So from where we stayed to the stadium, it's probably like a 15-minute car ride, right? But the coach took about 2 hours to get there because it was just roadblocks. Yeah, and that's 24 years ago.
Yeah.
So they've got it right. They've got it right in Germany. The funding is there. They've got it right. It's the money. It's the money.
If they could get that same funding and run BAFA,
it's the funding.
hands down.
It's just
because
the
the talent is here. The talent's always been here.
Yep.
You know, don't get me wrong, Germany has some good players. But all those like specialty positions, we would go over there and dominate because that's
But also another point, right? There were NFL at the time, right? NFL Europe, right, was obviously the sister company to the NFL, right? And players in the States, if they weren't assigned to NFL Europe, to a team, the free agents, they couldn't get on. They couldn't get into NFL Europe. Free agents couldn't get into NFL Europe. Why? Because I'd say about 95% of the positions were taken up by allocated players.
Yeah.
So if you were like in the third round and the fourth round of the draft, and you got signed to like Kansas, for example, Kansas might just assign you straight to NFL Europe.
Yeah.
That's how you get there. All right. So what some free agents would do, they went to the Bundesliga to get game tape.
To just get signed.
To get game tape to go back to try and get on as a free agent somewhere else the following year. That's how the Bundesliga was.
Yeah.
You know?
And that little doorway for them to get in.
Yeah, and it hurts, man. It hurts because when I look back and think to myself, you know, we had British American football was at the top of European football, and seeing where it is today, it hurts. We need. I think British coaches they deserve to get paid. Players deserve to get some form of remuneration here to play the game, to incentivize them to do this. And I guarantee you, when it does happen, you're going to start to see like some of these old school players. They're going to start coming back out of the woodwork. They're going to start flooding back to teams because money talks. Money talks.
I mean, if you look at the university, it's run very well. There's no reason why something like that can't happen to BAFA, but as long as, well, you said to us they're in the position of getting, the minute they get that sponsor, someone needs to run that 100% properly, because obviously
they won the league.
Yeah, because the first thing that was getting people's mind are going to be what happened back in the day.
Yep.
They're always going to, like you said, they're always going to relate back to that. They have to get the minute they get that, they have to see they have to create and do the right thing so that everyone can see that they're moving forward.
Yeah.
They don't, the first mistake you not do, or they do, they can just go back to.
It's about trying to change the mindset.
Change the mindset. That's what I'm saying. You've got to keep that. You've got to keep moving forward, even if it's in small little steps, and try to minimize the mistakes, so they can't, so they can see that you're moving forward.
Yeah.
Because the first big mistake that happens, they're going to be, oh look, it's just like when they had sponsors from Budweiser and Coca-Cola and blah blah blah. But the minute I think that league gets that sponsorship and can start moving forward and bringing that game back to where, not even back to where it was, better, because it was good then, but we want it to be better, not the same. We want it to be better and moving forward to the point where I can switch on my TV. Oh, sugar. You know what I mean? You want to get to the point, even if it's like highlights, to turn on TV and see that would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. But no, just one more question. Obviously, I'm in the presence of greatness here. And as a corner, I'll be amiss not to ask for some words of wisdom and words of advice to a fellow corner as well. So, yeah, just passing on some knowledge, please. Well,
Don't mind me. I'll just sit here. Don't mind me, man. I'll just sit here and just keep myself.
You know what? I'm going to have to come down to see you practice as well. But, you listen to what you said earlier about, the massages and stuff like that. Keep doing those things, man. You keep looking after your body. And once you keep on looking after your body, it's going to look after you. Eat properly. Get in the gym. Get your sleep, And the key, man, is watching film. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. You watch a player you watch whoever you're playing, to it's going out to the point every move he's going to do before he even does it. Yeah, you don't even have to speak. He'll be like, fuck. Sorry for my language.
How does he know where I'm going?
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you just watch film and look after yourself, trust me, stay disciplined, stay doing this. It's so hard it gets so old for certain people just to do the same thing day in, day out. But repeating, doing the same thing, everyone knows that makes you better. You practice on doing the same thing all the time, you're only going to get better.
Yeah.
You don't do them little things.
Can I just interject on something here on what you said there? Because to me, the key of what you talked about, apart from, keeping the body in shape and keeping yourself ready, it's the mentals, as in watching film. It took me a while to understand what people meant when they say you need to watch film. What am I looking for? No, you say that. What am I looking for? And it takes time. And I was very fortunate. I was lucky to be at a level where I was taught that. Yeah. Not proactively, reactively, but I was taught that, what to do, what to look for, and all them ones. It's those things that makes the difference of actually understanding how to watch film and what you're actually looking for. That's the difference.
And the thing about it is, we was able to do that because we went to the next level, and they had the film.
Yeah.
We didn't have film at alpha level. We just went out and played. We was raw talent playing. You now have the opportunity now to see film, which is amazing. Just watch as much as you can to whoever you're playing, whoever the receivers are. Just keep on watching. Learn your coverage until you're in your sleep. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you this as well, right? I mean, because watching film for a player doesn't necessarily, in your situation, it doesn't necessarily mean watching just wide receivers and how they're playing and how they're lining up and how far they line up to the sidelines, how far they're lining inside to give you that pre-snap read of what they're going to do. It's also reading your QB. It's also reading lineups. Yeah. And another one is running backs. Yeah. Watching a running back and seeing how they line up. Because if you start to look at running backs and see how they line up,
giveaway,
they will show you. Well, you get giveaways everywhere, but they'll show you when they're going to run. And if you know it's a run, guess what? You know he's going to come stalk block you.
Yeah.
So straight away you're ahead. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just about watching.
You help out your
receivers
brothers with the same information.
It's about looking for those key identifiers across the whole of the offense.
Yeah, it's not just a one position. You watch all of them because at any one point they could take the wide out and you're down just outside the 50 in the end.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to learn how to read. They might come up. What's the one where they come up with all backs?
Sorry, what's that?
The set where they take out the
What, like a wing T formation? Yeah.
So you might be lined up in. They might be lined up in the wing T.
Where it's empty.
Yeah.
Where it's empty.
Yeah, when there's no receivers.
It's
wing,
no receivers.
Yeah,
wing T. Yeah.
So you're gonna be lined up down. Where you're gonna get your keys from? There's no wide out now.
Yeah.
You've only got linemen.
Yeah.
The only keys that you're gonna get is from watching film.
Yeah. Just to watch everyone across the board. And even and that would help you out and help
again
your boys out as well.
Again, reading linemen.
Yep.
Right, reading linemen. If the offense, again, and this takes practice, but certain linemen line up in specific ways when they're going to run block. So straight away,
Even like-
if he's lining up, if those tackles lining up, like
even with their hands.
yeah, if they're lined up a specific way and they're showing run, guess what? You know that guy's gonna come and stop block you. So guess what?
Yeah.
It's a done deal. You know it's a run.
They put all the weight on their hands. They take weight off their hand. You know, you know they because they might not be the quickest. Being down in a full 3-point start, they might want to get back on their heels so they can get up quicker. All of them things, you know, that you can see, but until someone tells you or you start watching film,
You don't know to look for these
you
things.
don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that's okay. It's about asking the questions.
Yeah.
It is about asking the questions. There's nothing wrong with saying.
And we was able to get that information because we went to the next level. Yeah. Other than that, you know, we was. I know. I was just playing raw. You know, I just had the talent and the speed. You know, and then, like I said, as I got older,
when we got to NFL Europe,
yeah,
it got more strategical.
Yeah. It got harder, then it got easier again.
Because for me, I mean, it's a different story for Ro, but when I first got there, man, I remember when I first got my kit and I was in the changing rooms, I was like, oh my gosh, everything just looks brand new, new boots, new socks, everything fit wicked. Chris, I went out to the sidelines and I saw all the units. Saw the DBs, saw the receivers, saw the linebackers, defensive linemen, I saw the QBs, man. The QB was like 6'5", like 230. I honestly felt out of place. I thought,
because he was big when he came to the O's.
What am I doing here? Right.
Yeah.
And when I was at the O's, I was probably like one of the. I wasn't the shortest. I was like I wasn't the tallest. But I wasn't the shortest.
Yeah.
In the huddle, I was the shortest. do you feel me? So yeah. But I think because we got exposed to that, and we reactively learned how to
and that's
watch
another
tape.
reason why I want to give back to help the youngsters that want to go to the next level, to understand what it's going to take to get to the next level. You know, you might have the talent, but you got to sacrifice certain things.
Oh, the talent is physically here, without a shadow of doubt.
But you now have to sacrifice, and that's a different ball game. You know, you have to, you know, you got to make that sacrifice to the point where, like you're saying, you ain't trying to go out on Friday, Saturday, because you know you got a game. All of them things it comes into play. Now I can't go. I gotta go to the gym, or I can't be eating that nonsense food. I got to eat this. That's what. Unfortunately, because we got the blue book now, not the red book. We got the blue passport. We now have to work even harder. Guaranteed, when we went into camp, there was not one person in there. You get the odd American, but guaranteed we was in the best shape of our lives. There was no one in there physically in better shape than us, because we was already.
Tony used to say that all the time. Tony Allen used to say that all the time when we got into camp, and we in all honesty, we had no choice but to do that. You know, I'm going to say, and this is my opinion, the majority of the allocated players that went into camp, they used camp to get into shape.
Yeah.
When we were there,
we
was already in shape. It's just that we had to get past the mentals.
Yeah.
And that's what my biggest thing was in the beginning. It was the playbook. The playbook is the playbook. It's the same blasted plays across the board. It's just called something different. But no one will tell you that. You just think, oh my God, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What is this coverage? What? But then when you translate it into what you already know, oh my God, it's that. But
when the penny drops, when the penny drops and your shoulders drop,
you're moving that much quicker, because now you know, hold on a minute, I know what this is. But when you don't know that, you're not moving as fast.
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh, is that right? And you're trying to think on like you can't, you can't play like that. But the minute that penny dropped, oh my God, it was like boom, and it took me a while, so like when we first had our first podcast to realize, hold on a minute, they weren't that much better than us. They would just had the understanding of that playbook. When I look at it now, it's like they made mistakes just like I did. But when I made a mistake, it's because I'm a national player.
I mean that's another podcast in its entirety with regards to all of that type of stuff. But do you know what I mean? because there was the prejudice. I mean, that was absolutely clear.
Yeah.
You know, Coach Reinbold, I mean, he clearly saw it in Germany, you know, at Ryan, you know what I mean? But the main thing about it is we all stuck in. And it got to a point where, you know, we were impact players and they couldn't keep us off the field.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
Oh, they you know, when it comes to special teams.
Oh, special team.
They love me because that was my jam. And I swear, I think if we had an agent, that's no word of a lie. If we had an agent, there's no way someone would take me on as a special team player because I live for that. I was absolutely. I'm listen. I'm myself my own back. I was a beast on special teams. I didn't care. I used to love special teams.
I remember. Do you know Jeff Reinbold? Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember on our podcast, it was funny because Jeff, he said that he used to game plan on special teams against this guy. Right. And he would tell those allocated NFL players, they said, do not slip on this guy because he will roast you. He will roast you. And they actually game planned against him.
They used to double team.
To double team. And they still couldn't stop him. Still couldn't stop the guy.
Just to love it. You just get a buzz off of it.
Yeah.
That was my little, because I knew once I that, especially punt or kickoff, used to love it, man. That's what I know. I know I could play that because that hit I give my boy on in my where I put my helmet underneath his chin and cut his chin. You know I'm getting flagged for that.
But you did get flagged.
No, because they thought I hit him early. That's why. But when you see it, when I see it, he put his hand over my helmet, over thing, and the ball hit his hand. So. You should call a fake out. So he's like, no, I can get away with it. Oh, right, okay, go ahead then.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't got any more questions,
that was it for me.
Hey man, well, it's been a blast.
It has been. I do appreciate you taking the time out,
man,
for sure.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, no problem, man. I mean,
happy to have been here.
Your knowledge is, you've taught me a few things. You've confirmed some things in my mind about BUCS and the uni football. So thank you very much for that. We are gonna have to be proactive. We're gonna have to look at some of these games.
Oh no, definitely. I said that to Jim. I did say that to Jim last time, and definitely want to see some uni ball to see the comparison to and have my own opinions and say yes, they are. No, they're not. But until we see that, we're gonna keep on trying to push you off the fence and tell us how you really feel.
He ain't come off the fence, man. He's comfortable as hell. He's got his hands back. Your mama's getting paid. He's sneaking her up. He's all good.
Sunglasses out. Like this.
So we're definitely gonna have to come down and get our own, voice our own opinion on it. But yeah, much appreciated that you taking the time out.
But listen, it's about that time, man. I got that weight problem.
Yeah, you can't wait to eat.
Hey, so all I gotta say is, good rice, good meat, good God.
Let's eat.